Good afternoon, everybody. In this short video, I'm going to explain to you the midterm portfolio, what my expectations are for it, just basically explain what it is and what you do. So, get to it then. So the midterm portfolio, if you look at the prompt here, I will actually, hold on one second, I'll actually make sure. So if we look at the prompt from the midterm portfolio, you guys all now have a narrative paper back from me. So the way that the way the comments are designed on your narrative papers, I don't give you a grade the first time. I say, well, here's some things that you're doing well with your writing. Here's some things that you could stand to improve on more. So that is the way that the narrative, that's the way that you get feedback in this English 101 class. So now that we're at this midterm point, you are looking back, you're going to now revise this narrative for a grade. So in this class, you really only get a grade 2 times as far as your writing goes, not your discussion posts. The first time is just your narrative, being able to revise that. And that last time will be for all 3 of the major papers in the class. So, so what do you do then in this narrative revision? First thing that you do is you need a cover page to introduce your paper this time. So a cover page. I don't really care how it's formatted or how it looks. It's called a cover memo, so you can write it in a memo format if you like. But you can just write it in paragraph form. It doesn't matter. As long as it accomplishes what it needs to accomplish. So what you do is you explain a small chunk of history of where you stood before the course. So you started out that way. Where were you as a writer before this course began? What types of writing did you do? What do you think your strengths and weaknesses as a writer were before you even entered this class? And then you want to explain what all revisions you have taken from start to finish on paper 1 by using specific examples from your own work. So in this memo, you need to describe to me what revisions you've done to your paper. For some of you might have a lot of revisions to do. Some of you might not have a lot to do. Maybe you kind of nailed the paper the first time. So maybe all you got to do is go through and clean up some stuff. So depending on how much you have to do, that'll be the length of this second part. But whatever you do, chronicle it here, document it. And then to conclude the cover page, analyze your strengths and weaknesses so far as a writer. What skills do you hope to continue developing through the course? So what are you noticing that you're having trouble with? Is it grammar, perhaps? Is it providing enough details? Is it paragraph structure? Whatever the case is, analyze what you think you most need to improve on. So again, be as specific as possible on this cover page as far as what you need to do. And then you provide your revised copy of paper 1. So what I want you to do for this, I'm not going to read these things thoroughly word for word again. What I will do is I will take my file that I have, your graded paper, and I will compare it to whatever your revision is. So you need to show me in the paper where it is you've revised. So maybe you've added a new paragraph or something. So what you need to do is add a comment bubble into your paper. So hopefully you guys can see how this works. But the same way that I would comment on your papers. Of course, you guys know some of you gave written feedback too, just because it's easier. More takes less time for me. But you would give a comment bubble showing me every major change you make. So whatever the case is, maybe you add a paragraph, right? Maybe you, I don't know, maybe you fixed maybe you added a new detail in, or added more description, or whatever the case. You're showing and not telling more. Whatever the case is, you add these comment bubbles to show me where you've added stuff. If I don't see these comment bubbles, I'm going to assume that nothing has changed since your original narrative. So you make sure that you include those. But let's say that you have some minor issues. Maybe you have a lot of comma splices or run-on sentences, grammar things like that. For grammar, all that you have to do is just highlight changes. So maybe you fixed a comma. Well, just highlight in your paper where you fixed your comma. I don't need a whole comment bubble for stuff like commas. Okay, just highlighting those will do. So then I'll just go through and read through and look for those comment bubbles after I read your memo page and see how much it is that you've done. And I've gave you, if you're using a PC or a Mac, an Office, because you guys might know Mac Office is different. I gave you instructions on how to add comments on both. Or if you use Google Docs, you add comment bubbles the same way you would on a Mac. So if you have questions about how to add comments, let me know, because adding the comments is essential. If you don't add them, I'm going to assume you haven't done anything. Of course, the due date is here. So for this particular class, I might use this video for future classes too, but for this particular class, it's due Monday, the 5th of October by 11:59 p.m. You will submit it on the assignment Dropbox on Blackboard eCampus or eCampus, okay, whichever I'm using. So a week from when you get your papers back, you have a whole week to revise. So do your best with this. Make sure that you give this your full attention. Give this your full attention. Do everything that I said to do in those comments. And your grade will benefit from it. So remember that the portfolio is worth 70% of your overall grade. All that other stuff, the discussion posts and all that's worth 30. So whatever you get on this 70% is usually what you get in the whole class, just based on the pure math of the situation. Take it seriously, do it, and then show me how you've become a better writer. So with that said, that should be it. Good luck on this. You guys will nail it, I'm sure. We'll see you next time.